And if anyone does not, because we are recording this for those who can't join us, if anyone does not want to be shown on their recording, please feel free to shut your camera off. But thank you for that, Kateri. So let me start over. So yes, I don't know how many of you have seen the refreshed website, which I will take you to later on. But what I'm taking you through now is our main member portal. So this is what replaced what used to be the member area in the old website. So I would suggest just bookmarking this community.theefa.org. That way you can just go directly into our community portal. So as you can see, I mean, one of the things that I really appreciate about the system, if you were in the old system, it was probably really hard to see where everything was because it's like everything was on one page, right? So now I feel like you can go through things. You know, it's organized a little bit better with these menus for us. So I'm going to take you through the front page first. A lot of this is pretty self-explanatory, but I just wanted to show you. You know, if some of you have not joined your chapters or don't even know what they are, we do have regional chapters, so you can join them by just clicking here, and it'll take you to the home page, and then there's a join button. Affinity groups, so these are now what we're calling interest-based or identity-based groups. So academic editing, BIPOC, and Kidlit, if you fall into that, uh, you know, you can join that. Anyone can join that. Working groups, this works slightly differently. Basically, if you want to volunteer for events, our freelancer newsletter, social media, um, you would also request an invite to those, but because you know, we have different kinds of opportunities, we want to make sure there's like a good match for what it is you're interested in. We do a little bit of like an intake, very short, just back and forth email basically about what you're interested in before we approve you to join those groups. And one thing that I forgot to mention at the beginning is that I'll be talking a lot, but I want to make sure that your questions are answered. So after each section we go through, you'll have a chance to ask some questions. We're paying attention to the time because we don't want this to go overly long either, especially since this is being recorded as a training for folks. And so if you can save questions that are not like really pertinent to like the specific area that we're looking at for the end, there will be a general Q&A at the end too. And you can ask questions that you forgot to ask at that point as well. And so, yeah, so we went through this. Benefits and resources. Now, a lot of people don't know that if, you know, like this is not just a header. You can actually click on it. And this is a good way to see what all your benefits are. We've experienced over time, people don't even really know about like all these different things that come with their membership. So we put it on one page for all of you. And then there's sub-menu items here too. And I wanted to point you through like a few of these things. Resources for new freelance editors. You might say, well, I've been freelancing a long time. You know, why should I look at this page? But there's some great resources in here, also curated. And so, for instance, you might not be new to freelancing, but I mean, you might not be new to editing, but you might actually be starting your freelance business. So there are some resources in here that are EFA resources, like you know, webinars and actually booklets that we've published that might be of use to you. By the way, some of these things are free to members, so that's part of your perks. And if you were on the old system, you used to have to go into our separate education portal to access the free webinar library for members. But now, so Asher, our director of education, built this, and it's kind of snazzy. You can actually watch it right from here. So that's a vast improvement from our old system. So just wanted to make sure that you saw that. Yes, your affiliate discounts still here. We've reorganized that as well. So it's kind of by category. So it's easier to figure out what all of these things are. Oh, why is that a broken photo? I will fix that later. Um, so just so you know where that is, the directory and job list. So some folks brought up that they're not seeing the actual rates page yet on the website. Some of these things we're still working on. The rates page is the most important part of, or the most accessed page on our website. So that will definitely be up. It's just the calculators on that page make it a little bit complicated to move over to the new site. Some of you also noticed that we didn't have anything about the job list there before. And so this was something that I added to the menu today. You have to be logged in to see this page, but you will see our lovely list of jobs there. So no fear, we are still in the process of building some of these things. It takes some time. And so the member directory search as well. If I click on this right now because I'm logged in, it'll show the member directory search from kind of like the back end as a member. So I won't click on that right now. But just so you know, this is also something that can be accessed just like it was before by obviously the public and potential clients. So that's that. Education. What did I want to show about education? Our course catalog. So this is a way to see everything that's offered by category. But you'll also find that upcoming classes is a link that'll take you to the community calendar where you'll see all of the upcoming courses there, but also you'll see this is filtered for education, which is why that's all we're seeing. But you will find that the community calendar also has things like, ACEs on here. Our executive director is actually at ACEs right now. So you'll see that on the community calendar. And basically what goes on the community calendar are, primarily like EFA wide events, but also if chapters have collabs with other chapters, or they have an interesting speaker like a tax expert, say, because it's tax season, that they feel would be beneficial to all membership to also attend. Those would be appearing here as well. But as you'll see later when I take you to the back end, chapters also have their own calendar, so they'll be able to post just like chapter events in that calendar. So I will take you back there as well. And you will see that we have some recurring, sometimes you'll find like this right hand rail menu. We've disabled it for some pages because some pages just have a lot of content. And so it's distracting to actually have this menu, but this is just a quick and easy place to go to the calendar, which I just showed you, and also our community news and blog. We can go over there and see what that looks like. And so you'll see easy to filter by categories. So that's that. So I'm just going to stop for a moment,
I
take us back to
see.
the homepage and see if anyone has any questions. And maybe if you end up putting some questions in the chat, maybe Kateri, you can help me out by identifying those as well and reading those out loud because I can't see the chat right now. But yeah, feel free to just unmute yourself if you have a question. Yeah, I can't see the raised hands either right now, really. So, Kateri, if someone's raising their hand, if you could just call out their name so they can ask. Otherwise, I can show you the back end from here. So, questions before we move on?
Yes, there is a question from Paige K. She's asking, what happened to some of the webinars for purchase that were on the old site, such as intro to line editing and working with tropes and genres?
Ah, okay. So just to let you know, so my colleague Asher had to put 80, I think it was 85 courses and webinars and create separate pages for them. So I think they are through more than halfway through, but they're going by alphabetical order. So there might not be things that are on here yet. But what was the name of the course again that you were looking for? Let's see if we can find it.
Intro to line editing and working with arcs, tropes, and genres.
Okay, let's see. Um, So many line editing courses. Look at that. Um, but yeah, if you're not finding it on here, I see the intermediate one. So uh, if you're not finding it on here, that could be because it's not in there yet. Um, My goodness, look at all the things that are showing up. But I did see the intermediate one. And if actually I can't remember if the intro to line editing was a self-paced course, but as you know, we offer, I think it might be a self-paced course, in which case we should be seeing it. But a lot of these are time delimited. So if they are traditional courses, for instance, which the intermediate might be, that means that they kind of show up on the calendar when we're offering them, if they're time delimited. So that might also be where you're not seeing it. But I if yeah, we'll save the chat, so we'll just take note of those specific things and get back to you. But just know that, maybe it's like 80% in there. But yeah, 85 pages is a lot to build. I can attest that myself from building a lot of the other pages. So it's taking us a little bit of time to get everything up there. But this is where you go. You just go to education, course catalog, do your search. You can search by category, and hopefully you'll find it once everything is up there.
Hopefully.
Anything else we're seeing?
No other
Other
questions at this time. Just
Perfect.
a compliment from Michael saying that the website response time is much faster.
Oh, good. Yeah, I noticed that too. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah, you don't even want to know getting into the weeds about how our old website was actually kind of dying slowly, or in the last few months kind of like spiraling to a quick death. So I'm glad we've moved on to a new platform. Anyway, so I am going to now take you to, actually, let me sign out so you see what this looks like. So when you sign out, you'll see that certain things disappear from the menu. The only things that are on here
On the
are
way back,
things
can
that,
I run into a store and grab some
oh,
Dr. Pepper? Mhm.
sorry, I'm hearing if you have your mic on by accident, just mute yourselves. I do want a soda right now, so for anyone else who was was interested in a soda. I'm very interested in caffeine right now. But yeah, so when you're logged out, you'll only see certain things that obviously the education program, anyone from the public can take our courses at a slightly higher rate. You all get 20% off as members. But this is where you go to sign. There are two places you can sign in. There's this menu item up here to sign in, or you can use the sidebar, and hopefully my password manager is working. Of course it's not, but I suspected it might not. Um, so hopefully I have the correct one, and that will just let me in. Whew. Okay, so once you're signed in, unfortunately, like it punts you to what we call the dashboard view, which isn't as nice looking. But I just want to assure you, these are the same menu items that you see in the front. In the sort of front end, there was a quick links menu at the bottom of the page. So that's the only difference here, is that you now have this new dashboard menu, and we'll go through these. So this is more like where personal stuff lives, right? And the quick links menu, which move from the bottom of the front end of the website, kind of to the side over here. So that's the only difference, but everything else, same menu. And so let's see. You are all probably so one of the first tasks that we've sort of challenged you to do is to update your profile. So let's go there. So I mean, this is kind of like a weird social media aspect of it, activity. It just shows, what kinds of discussions you were participating in. We had some beta testers or board members and chapter coordinators come in before you all did about 2 weeks ago, just to help us troubleshoot some things. So you'll have hopefully a smoother experience. So that's one of the reasons for why I think only like 21 members called about issue or called emailed about issues. It's because of our beta tester. So anyone who's here who was a beta tester, thank you for that. So yes, how you complete your profile. So you basically go to this about tab and hit edit. There we go. And some of you had asked how, well, actually, let me just go back a step. So like, let me just go back a step because some people were very confused about how to add a profile photo. So I just wanted to show you where that is. So many places to keep things, but it's fairly simple. When you don't have a photo yet, I think it'll say like there's like a plus or something on here that allows you to upload a photo. So that's all you do. And then you could click edit if you want to, I guess, like change your photo to something else. So that's where you go for the profile photo. So hopefully that answers the question that some people had. Let's go back into the About tab, edit. To show you how to edit. One of the first things I wanted to show you was slightly new place to manage your email preferences. So come on, show up. Why is this not showing up? But if this actually worked, oh, of course, it just took a while. Um, yes, so this is where you'll see, you might not see some of these options on the front end. I am a system admin, so it'll show me like back end things like general correspondence and membership account information. You won't see that, but this is where you would subscribe to say the education newsletter, what's new at the EFA, and the freelancer. And something that will be new in the system is something called group correspondence. So you'll see that you have the ability, if you were on the Groups IO discussion list, this might make more sense to you. But you know, if you are part of a group, so say a chapter or an affinity group or one of our working groups, you can subscribe to a digest. You know, it's a daily digest, I think, for and you'll I'll show you where to subscribe to that later because that's in a different place. But this is where you would do it. The only thing that's different is some people had asked about our jobless notifications going to continue, and yes, we had to build certain things out of the system. Our job list, as you know, is very particular to our industry, and the out of the box system couldn't accommodate it. So our IT people actually had to build something out of the box. So we're using, instead of that subscribe up there, this is the only place, I mean, this is the only thing where you would have to subscribe to the jobless notification under additional information. So that is the difference there. I am looking at my notes because I wanted to make sure I covered things, especially things that people were having problems with initially. I wanted to underscore, we did set the default on the public side facing member directory to not show your personal information, but please just double check. This be the first thing you do on your member bio. Double check that your personal information is private. You know it's private because you have that lock. I have a different menu here than you because profile director my profile does not appear in the member directory. So you will see an additional option here to make it public. So that's if you want, you know, potential clients and the general public to see that information. But in general, I think for personal information, you want to keep that private and make sure it's locked. Some people had, if you were on the discussion list, there was a big kerfuffle about the mandatory birthday field. We are changing that. We are partially collecting this for demographic information because we want to serve you better. But it's technically a social media platform, so we kind of have to, have like for legal purposes, people attesting that they are over the age of 13. But we're fixing this. It's either going to be a birth year. People still had issues with that, so we might do age ranges. But just know we are listening to your feedback, and we are addressing it as quickly as possible. But I said our ED is at ACES right now. And so I'm not going to have a chance to speak to her until tomorrow, but hopefully she's checking her DMs today. But things do take a little bit of time, so I ask for your patience. So the other thing that stumped people was when they tried to save the changes on their profile, they ran into an error message about country code. Now, this does not refer to the country. It's actually the phone number country code. And this kind of makes sense for an international organization like us. We want to make sure that you actually have your country code populated here. So for the US, it's one. I think it should have been defaulted to one, but yeah, people couldn't save their profiles because of that. So I just wanted to point that out. You will also see, and this goes back to us trying to learn more about our membership. These are not, so it's a mandatory field if it's got that star. These are obviously not mandatory fields, but it would actually help us as an organization if you did fill this out. It obviously doesn't have to be public. Like I made this, private to myself. I wanted my, what did I make public here? But you get the point that I made this private gender, but everything else I made public. But we are trying to learn a little bit more about our membership so we can better, provide like programming and events that we feel would address to our membership is. That's why we're collecting this information. It's really to help us know how to serve you better. So that's what it is, but it's not mandatory, as you can see. Professional information. This is the part that really you should be paying attention to if you want certain fields to be seen on your public member directory profile. So for instance, if you wanted to put a separate business email, obviously, than your personal email, you would put it here and make sure that it's shown to the public. I can only show it to members because yeah, I don't have a public facing profile, but you'll see that I think it's a green unlock button is the icon that you'll see there. And then all of this. Okay, so the member directory bio was also something that people had an issue with because if you populated this in the old system, that was rich text content. You could style it, you could put bullets, you could do all this. Unfortunately, as you'll see here, it is a plain text field. Now, someone pointed out that for some bizarre reason, it doesn't recognize em dashes,
Here,
apostrophes, and
commas.
semi
Very
commas, really. So I am taking that back to our implementation specialist. I know it was a particular issue for the importing of the data. Because some of those things are related to like HTML code or it recognizes it as HTML code. And so it strips those things out. But when you're doing the update, because this is post import, I don't know why you still can't save that. So that is something that I'm taking back to our implementation team to answer that question for those of you who asked. Now, this part should be familiar to you all because this is what used to be in the old member directory, right? Like the skills, subject area specialties, all of these things should be familiar to you all. And then I know someone asked about this. Uh, yeah, you can upload a file, but you can upload only one. So it might not even make sense to have this as a field because yeah. But anyway, so that was a question folks had.
There's some
So
questions in the comments if you wanted to address.
yeah, I think we can go there. I think that's all I really wanted to make sure I show you here, or at least we can stop for questions now and then we can go over the other
Yes.
tabs.
So Stephanie is asking, our profiles from the old website don't populate the new, is that right? And that's correct. The basic information is transitioning over, however, you need to fill in pertinent details about like your background and things like that, links to your work, whatever you want to add. So you have to recreate a profile. Adam is asking, regarding the profile editor, are rich text options going to become available? Putting links in profile sections or adding formatting for readability like bold, italics, bullets, or horizontal lines. I believe that is something that we'll go through. But yes, that is possible. There have been a few reports about the photo option giving a few people a hard time. However, we've been working on the back end with that. And if you are still having issues, just send me an email and I'll go ahead and help you upload your photo for you. Rachel is saying, I could not expand the widget
Yes,
for the member directory biofield, so I could only
yes.
edit one line at a time. That seems like the bug.
That is a known issue that I've also taken up. These are called drag affordances, I believe, and they're not working. Normally, if you see that, you can make the box bigger.
Miranda is asking, are we all using different browsers, getting different experiences? She's on Chrome. I personally use Safari, so I wouldn't be able to answer that, but has anyone else been having the same issues on Safari or Chrome?
Safari or Chrome? Chrome. No, I use Chrome and I use Firefox. But Firefox has been a shit lately. Firefox has been a shit.
I Yeah, I am sorry to hear that. I mean, there was an issue earlier with showing you the job list. Like this was gobbledygook before, but it was because I'm on Chrome, and our IT specialist had asked me that question because it's showing up. This yellow dot was showing up for him, but not for me. I was just getting a whole bunch of question marks. So there can be differences in the way that you see pages because of the browser that you're in. But that's just like the way of things, unfortunately.
That's consistent through it.
Hmm.
Any website, you'll have those type of issues. Uh,
Did we have any more
Yes,
questions in this
so
section?
Janet
Okay.
is saying, please say more about the activity tab. She doesn't understand which activities would show up here. Would it make sense to move the about tab to the front since she thinks it is that is the one most likely to be opened?
Okay, so you're only seeing, let's go back there. Let me cancel out of this. And I know you've asked this question before. I thought I answered it. I'm trying my best to keep up with all the questions, but so what you're seeing here, only members have this view, right? So this is the back end, only members have this view. Let me see if I can open an incognito window and if you'll actually be able to see that.
Well, what I was actually talking about is when you go into the member section, you have activity, about, photos, and more, I think.
Yes,
There's 4 tabs. The one on top is activities. And I don't really know what activities are going to show up there or
yes,
whether that's even going to be useful for me. Why would I go in there? The one I know I'm going to be using is the profile. So I'm thinking, shouldn't
yeah.
about be the one on top?
Yeah, I mean, this is just the way the system is designed. And just to clarify it for people, we are trying our best as much as possible to stay within the native system and not put too much custom coding because that creates problems from a database management perspective when you're doing updates on the software, right? And so that ended up being our issue with the old site was there was so much custom because of course we're an opinionated bunch, we want things to look perfect, we're perfectionists, but because we had customized that system so much we couldn't even upgrade to the most up-to-date version of WordPress, which is a problem for security and other purposes, which is why things were kind of like going on a free fall crash. So we do not want that to happen in the system. So if we can live with it, we will live with it. But you know, I take your points about what's important to this community. And so we will make the changes that we can. But like certain things like that, like about the tab and this is just
What
the way the software was designed, unfortunately.
what activities would
Okay.
be showing up there?
So for instance, if you participate, like I'll show, yeah, so I had posted in the discussion forum. So that's why, like it shows up
So
here. Um,
discussion forum posts.
discussion forum posts, your group posts. Did I have a
So
I
like if I post things to the chapter, that would show up here.
It doesn't look like, because I've been making posts to the beta testing group. So it doesn't looks like it'll show there. It might show in my dashboard. Yeah, because everyone can see that activity tab. So I think that only refers to things that everyone has access to, like the main community discussion forums. That's why you could only see forums. But if you look at
Okay.
my personal dashboard, I can see, well, we can see Kateri's post because they're an ambassador. Janet, you are actually on the beta testing group and a
Yeah, and
chapter coordinator. So
there's
you're
nothing on my activity
so
page.
but you're technically an ambassador. So you'll have this badge next to your name if you ever post and
Ooh,
things. Yes. But yeah, so you'll see like this is my personal view of my own dashboard. So I can see things like let me see. I posted, so yeah, like I'm in the beta testing group like you are, so I can see people's posts in the beta testing group. So but this is only my view here, my dashboard. But I think, when you look at your profile, the activity here, I mean, basically,
there's
this is
nothing.
the view for the members, right? So all members can
Right.
see this. So if you participate in everything that is like an all member activity thing, and it's primarily the discussion forums,
I
that's what
see.
will appear here.
Okay.
So that answers that question.
And
But
this leads into a perfect segue to Jamie's question. Her question is, when she looks at her profile from
Mhm.
the general public view,
Yes,
she sees a banner that says my engagement over her profile
yes.
picture. Is
Um,
that text that's changeable?
we are asking so that's another thing for our implementation team. But if our implementation team can't get rid of it, our IT people have found ways to hide things that, yeah, so the system's called your membership. So every time your membership says no, we take it as a soft no until we ask Square Planet or IT partners, is this a real no, or can you configure it using CSS or JavaScript to hide the thing that they say that we can't hide? So I have a feeling those things that don't make sense out of the context of YM can be hidden, because we've hidden things via CSS before on that public facing page. So that is something that is on like the radars of both tech teams that we're working on. But yeah.
Ingrid is asking if you can just go over which field you can change from members seeing them to private.
Okay, so let's go back in there. For the most part, I mean, it's pretty like you can't change this. I mean, your personalized URL, username, and password are kind of like things that only you as a member and admins can see. So there's no option there to make it public. We wouldn't want to make your username or password public anyway. But an email address, so this is your primary email address. For most people, that's like their personal, that's what they use to receive information from the EFA, for instance, and how you log in. And I've made this, why am I making this visible? Oh, I made this visible to members because it's really like my professional, it's the same as my business address. That's why I'm not putting my personal in there. And that's how I'm using the system. So basically, anytime you see these icons, they are fields that you can change the visibility of. Um, for some bizarre reason, you can change alternate email. So someone brought this up. It's like, I want to use my alternate email to be the thing that shows up, in my public profile. and this is a bug, which stumped our IT people. They're like, there's no reason for why we shouldn't make that a field. But because it's a bug and I don't know how long it's going to take them to kind of resolve it from a developer issue, I did create a new custom field for business email. So this is what you would use. And you can see that that's something you can change the visibility of. But if you are running into any issues about things that you can't make visible or not visible, please just, you have my contact information, I think, and Kateri and we'll figure it out. But you know how to reach us. If you're on Discord, if you're on the DL, if you post on our community forums, which is what we're encouraging folks to start doing.
No, yo no, para
Yeah.
nada. Tengo edad de ser tu mamá. Tengo la edad.
Again,
Um,
just a reminder to mute yourself if your mic
yes.
is on accidentally.
So keeping it moving, Holly is asking, I see a blog tab on the content and features section. Does that create a blog link to our profile on the EFA site, or does it link to an external blog that we've created elsewhere?
Yeah, so this, I think it's sure. I think it might some of these features might actually be disabled. And so and like I am learning this system myself. I was learning it as I was building it. So I know that what's been enabled are things like group blogs. So if a chapter coordinator wants to use the blog feature, they can, but we aren't enabling personal blogs at this time. Because I think there is value to curating some of these things. I think it's great that your membership has a lot of features, but it can also be overwhelming. I mean, even with the features that we've enabled, it's overwhelming. And again, I'm so grateful to like the beta testers who helped us out with stuff because, they were kind of telling us like, oh, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. When I was designing these, like the forums, for instance, it yes, it was there's a lot of places to put information, so we're just trying to not overwhelm you by
Oh,
enabling everything, if that makes sense. But if there's something that you are really adamant about that you want to enable, please, again, we're open to suggestions, so just contact Kateri or me.
motivation. No sé si ya no existe, pero me acuerdo John Odobashian todavía estaba. John Odobashian.
You should just go ahead and mute everyone so
Yeah,
that it doesn't happen.
thank you.
Moving forward, this is from Adam. This is a bit off topic, but some of the navigation menus seem to exhibit odd behavior in certain contexts. When I'm on the education page, for example, the links for some options under chapters and groups look funny and or don't work. Similarly, the sub drop down for regional chapters is prohibitively long and difficult to scroll through.
Yeah, so this is actually a menu that's generated by the system. So when we have like regional chapters and things like that, I actually can't control how this looks. I'm glad you mentioned this though, because people were saying, well, it doesn't, like, how do I get to the bottom of this? You actually have to use the on your keyboard, the arrow keys. That's what moves that down. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you that it could be, more sophisticated in the styling. Some of these things, like if you look at even just like you can bookmark some of these pages. Let me see if I could find one that you can bookmark. I'm like, wow, this is like era 2000, right? Like that graphic is very 2000 era, millennium era graphics. So, not, I mean, I'm sure if we, because we paid for the standard package because we figured, the staff had enough skills to make it look okay. But I'm sure if we paid like an additional $10,000, they'd have like nicer features than what we have here, which is very basic, but it's functional. So yeah, unfortunately, this this particular question you have about the menu being clunky, and even the back end, I'm really not a fan of the way this dashboard area looks, to be honest. But yeah, it's what we got. It's better than, I think it's better than what we had before. I mean, it has more functionalities than what we had before, and hopefully when they update the software and whenever that may be, they will think about the user end experience. They are allowing us to give them feedback via, a suggestion box. So I've been doing that. I've been very frank about what I feel is working and not working. So continue to send us your feedback. On whatever forums you communicate with us, and we're listening to you. We might not get to them right away because we are a very small team, and I've kind of I'm project managing the AMS, so it's primarily me, unless you have an education area related question that's Asher, but it's just me right now trying to answer all these questions and try to address and implement the things that I can do on my own. But a lot of times what's actually taking time is that I have to send it up to a developer, someone with more technical expertise than me to deal with some of these things. So
Vina, this is Adam. Is it okay to
hi, Adam.
pipe in verbally, or do you only want comments in the text?
You can pipe in verbally. I'm just taking a look at the time. I'm just taking a look at what other things I wanted to go over. I don't think there's very many, so yeah, we can take a verbal question from you right now.
Okay, well,
Mhm.
no, I just wanted
Or
to
a
follow up,
comment.
and I will be brief because no, first of all, I just want to thank you both, and your team for doing all this. I I've been in your shoes, and so I totally respect just how much effort this requires, and how stressful it can be. So first and foremost, thank you. Regarding the menu thing, thank you. That was actually very helpful clarification. Part of that, part of that to clarify was in some of the, particularly what it was kind of a weird specific thing, but like when I was on the education page, when I then
Mm-hmm.
went to the chapter page, it seemed like the links were not the proper links, and like when I clicked them, nothing was happening. So I just wanted to clarify
Oh.
that piece.
Yeah, send
But
me, if you have time, send me a detailed email, and maybe with some screenshots so I can
okay,
help troubleshoot that. Yeah, that's
okay,
that's the best way. If you have very specific questions, um, the developer will ask me for screenshots anyway, so that's just a good kind of practice for folks who are running into things. Take a screenshot, send it to me. I'll see if I can fix it myself, and if not, escalate up. So.
sounds good. Yeah, and thank you again so much for everything
No,
that you
thank
folks
you
are
for
doing.
that. And thank you for this has been like my life for the past when did we start this project? Like for the past 3 months. Thank you for just for your patience and understanding. We are a very, very skeleton crew, and now that we've lost Mark, like it's really me who's working on all of this. And I'm just one person. And I know that our IT team, like the our IT team, our ED and myself, we've been working nights and weekends on this. Yeah, it's a haul, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, speaking of some of the usability issues, Diane
Mhm.
mentioned that on Firefox and Chrome on her profile page, she only sees the About tab. She does not see the other tabs. And then Ingrid
Huh.
is messaging that when she selects the disability checkbox, it gives her an error, unable to save view preferences at this time. Most others let you change it. So if anyone else
Hmm.
is having those type of similar issues, please go ahead and like those comments so we can just gauge how often that's occurring. And then we can
Thank
go
you.
ahead and speak with
Yes.
our back end. And then Janet is asking, how do you add a PDF resume?
Oh, thank you. That was one of the things that I wanted to show you all. And just to piggyback on what Kateri had mentioned there, of course, it just flew right out of my head. Um, it might come back. We'll see. But now that I remember, so yes, to add your PDF resume, you go to Files and Links. Sorry, this is a bit, like a little takes more steps. So files and links, add a new item, this pulls up. You can either put a URL. So if you have like a website, I mean, you can put this on your front end. So I don't know what you would use a URL for, but I mean, I guess if you house your resume on like a different web page, you can put a URL, or you can upload a file. So just go to, choose file. It brings you to your computer. And then you have to check this here. Oh, this is what I wanted to show you. So you have the ability to make this again, because I my member profile is not seen on the public side. You'll have an extra radio button here to make it show to the public as well. So you'll have 3 options rather than 2: private, members only, or the public. So hopefully that answers your question. But yes, you would go to, we can go back there again. It's that last tab, more files and links, and then
And then the last question that we have on the queue is, where do you want people to report bugs and what information is useful? Like which
yes.
browser would you recommend, things of that nature?
You know what? I'm trying to like think about the best way, because some of these are immediate things that if we can solve, we solve. So maybe this is a good segue to show you our community discussion forums. I think that might be the best place for now. I mean, I am fielding them. I'm checking everything right now. So if you're very comfortable with Discord, we have a channel in Discord called Ask the Staff or something of that nature. So you can put it in there. I'm monitoring that. If you're on the discussion list in Groups.io, which we are trying to, and to be, if you didn't really like read the email that came with your credentials, in 1 month, we are going to be moving away from that. Part of the reason for why we purchase the system is that because we have this ability to keep forums in here, so you're not trying to like log into multiple systems. It's all in one place. We want everything to be in one place, so we're giving you a month to wind down, see what you need from there. We are going to be keeping an archive of everything that's on the discussion list. Unfortunately, that's one thing that we couldn't pull over into this new forum, are those old discussions. But what we're thinking of actually is making a working group. We have a lot of indexers here. We have a lot of people who work with database, specifically our academic editors. I think this might be, I mean, I'm a nerd, so maybe this might, I think it might be a fun project for people to help us figure out a way to create like a searchable database of the archives. So it's not 100% going away. It's just the actual Groups.io is the platform that's going to go away. And we've tried our best, and this is what I've been working on with the beta testing team, to kind of replicate the same kind of feeling in our community forums. So I think the best place right now to maybe put your questions and concerns, again, I'll show you where that is. So join a discussion, community discussion forums. For those of you who are familiar with the way this looked in Groups.io, you'll recognize a lot of these forum titles, right? Like biz and marketing, moved over, tools and tech. I kind of put the most popular ones that were on the Groups.io DL at the top of the list. And yeah, but I think a good place to put it would be EFA announcements. And there are already some folks in here. You can feel free to start a new topic just as you would in Groups.io. But if I go into something that Kateri posted, a topic she posted, welcome to the community forum. We have a new member post in here, which was kind of fun. But yes, and I just like, I know it's very confusing to find where you are. It takes a bit of time, so give yourself some grace to learn the system. But this is something that's pretty cool, I think, anyway. These are all links, so you can tell, it's like a breadcrumb trail, so you can tell where you are. So if you wanted to go back to the forum EFA announcements, you can go back to that. If you want to go to that big forum index that we saw before, you can go to that.
Maybe where the tahini might be.
There's
So
some
yeah.
on the top shelf. It's a different brand. You open a different brand when you.
Sorry. Yeah. If
Anyway, I
another.
saw some there this morning.
Another
I know, I
reminder
saw a
to mute
different
yourself
one.
if you're
Otherwise, no, I
accidentally
don't know.
have your mic. Kateri, are you able to see who has their mic on by accident and
Diane,
try to
is it possible that you can mute your mic?
Yeah, sorry.
but yes, so yes, if you could put your comments in EFA announcements, that would be fabulous. Start a new topic, or maybe I'll start one so we can demo that. Let's see. Community platform questions and issues. Please help us. And I wanted to show you that if you wanted a rich text editor, you have that option here too. So if you wanted to put a link in something you post or a picture, whatever, you can do that here. But I'm just going to put a quick post in here. Please help us make this new community platform work for you by giving us your feedback here. And I would just go on submit post.
Jennifer's
And
asking,
then you could put your
oh, sorry about
replies
that.
here. Sorry, go ahead, Jennifer.
She's asking, what is the suggestion for using the new forum versus Discord?
So I mean, this is really a preference thing, right? Like I feel like we have editors, that discussion list, by the way, goes back, I want to say 30 years, like 3 decades. So we have folks who are used to forums from the 90s, the aughts, whenever they were popular. That's how they prefer to communicate. I know for myself, like every time I hear about a new platform, I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I'm not adapting to a new platform. I didn't go on TikTok, for instance. I have no interest in like doing TikTok. I'm sorry. And so but then by the same token, there are folks who are like, I don't understand forums. This is way too kind of like techie for me. I want something that kind of replicates a social forum. So that's why we've given folks the opportunities to join one or both. And you interact as where we will meet you where you are, basically. So staff are on both things. I have to say that especially with the AMS work, I've had to put my head down. I have a lot of work. I know for me, Discord can be distracting. So, I turn it off, I mute it. I don't check it that often unless like now we're in this period where I know there would be questions. So I actually have it on, so I can respond right away. But it's really a user thing, and whatever you're comfortable with. And like I say, and especially, for those folks in it who've ever been educators, right? Like you have to meet folks where they're at. And so that's why we're offering the two forums.
And Miranda pointed out that Discord is good for chatting in real time, providing the other person is online.
Yes.
Forum is a bit more leisurely.
Yes, and you can subscribe. I wanted to show you the other place where you can set because I like a daily digest. You'll see that if you've posted, for instance, you can, anyway, I wanted to show you God, now I'm like having a little bit of a brain freeze. Oh, I went to the wrong place. No, Bina is having a brain freeze about where we do our settings for digests. Oh my goodness. If I can't find it today, we will make an addendum. Like I said, you see how overwhelming this can be. Oh, no, here it is. Here it is. Information and settings. Yeah, so you have to click that edit on your profile to get the submenu. But you see what I'm saying about how like there's so many things that you can possibly enable in the system. It's a good thing, but you have to curate it in order not to feel that overwhelm. So here, so the forum and group digest, this is where you set those settings. It's like, you want to receive the forum digest, you want to receive the group digest. So again, if you're part of a chapter or an affinity group or a working group, you want to receive those notifications as a digest in your email, you would check that. And then you can check, like, I want daily updates, I want weekly updates. So that's where you would click those settings. But yeah, I haven't figured out every single area of the system yet. So it will take time. So again, I just stress to give yourself the grace to learn the system. And you don't have to use everything, right? Like, it's there for you as an option to use if you want to, but you don't have to. So,
That
um,
pretty much sums up the questions unless
oh,
anyone had
great.
anything else to add.
Let me just make sure that we've gone over everything that I wanted to go over. Like I said, I put notes in here so that I do that. Oh, yes, one more thing. I haven't I was trying to build this page before our meeting. So let's go back to the front again. So we have all these like different areas. And again, I showed you their quick links, which are also on the back end. But I wanted to build this page before. Oh, let's just show you the join the discussion page. So this is where, if you want to learn more about our community discussion forums, if you want to learn more about the Discord server, we also have a tutorial on our YouTube channel, so you can watch that. I want to stress that, we have an online community code of conduct that's now universal for all our spaces. So, we used to have a separate DL discussion list code of conduct, Discord code of conduct. They're all very similar. A code of conduct for, our education program and virtual events, but now this is universal. I think it all makes sense. We all know how to be civil and welcoming and all of that stuff, but I just want to stress, just read this before you participate in any of in our virtual community, so we all understand kind of how the way in which we have agreed to relate with each other. So just be familiar with that. We do have moderators, so if you violate some of these things, like, if you're disparaging someone or just, being uh, putting up inappropriate material, the moderators might take it down, just to forewarn you of that. But if you are in Discord or the discussion list, you already should be very familiar with this code of conduct. So I wanted to show you that. Um, Also wanted to show you volunteering. I will change this how to do this, because this is still the old way where you would email the person. But these are the opportunities that we have available for volunteering. We want community moderators. That will likely, you'll still have to email Ollie for that. Events, we need events, and you'll sometimes see emails from Ollie. If we're having, like AWP was in LA, so we emailed like our LA members to see if they could volunteer for that. Janet was our captain for that event, so thank you, Janet. So you'll see those emails from Ollie, but we're now making it so that you can join a working group if you really love events, because there'll be more virtual events and we'll probably need more help. The freelancer newsletter, also we need writers as well as copy editors and proofreaders for that. Our social media team, we we need folks to help us post. We use something called Hootsuite to post to all of our platforms. So that's why you see that it's a very robust social media. It's because of our volunteers. We couldn't do a lot of these things without our volunteers. I'm seeing board of directors here, so you should have received an email about elections. Elections are going on right now, so please make sure you vote for our new board of directors. I should have taken down the deadlines for things, but you should have gotten an email about it. So I'm just this just came up because I'm seeing that on here. But the new way, now that we're in the system, like I said, I didn't have a chance to update the language on here, but the new way to sort of apply to be a volunteer is by going into working groups. So say, wow, I'm really interested in volunteering for the newsletter. You'll see that this is their, oh, this doesn't make sense. I'm like a member of all of these, but basically what you'll see is essentially there's gonna be I'm already a member, so you're not seeing that option. But let's see if I can replicate this with a group that I haven't joined yet. Ugh, keep clicking on the wrong thing. So the Carolina chapter. Let's take a look there. Oh no, again, this is a bad example because these folks like all chapters are basically like you can join it, but anyway, there's this thing that's called, or there's going to be a tab that's called something like request an invitation to any of these working groups that you want to volunteer for, and there's just that extra step of uh the extra step of us kind of doing like a little bit of an intake with you. It's just an email. Oh, I think I did mention this before. We try to, we have like certain kinds of volunteer opportunities within the working groups. So we like, for example, the freelancer, column writers, proofreaders. So we just want to get a sense of what exactly are the skills that you're offering to make sure that it matches up for what we're looking for. But for the most part, we'll approve you, and then you'll be able to see the working, like you'll be able to see the working group homepage where I had mentioned before, there's going to be nothing here, but each group, so each chapter, each working group, etc., will have its own calendar. We are giving the coordinators an opportunity to activate or deactivate their blogs and forums. And for those, I do see some coordinators here. I did, actually, let's go there. I want to show you, so you all should be part of something called the group coordinators group, where I put some links in I put some links here, um, including the tutorial to manage your group's homepage that Kateri and I did last week. So if you missed that, there's a quick link there. So I just wanted to show that for you folks. But yeah, so I think that was it for everything that I wanted to show you. I know this was really quick. We are obviously recording this video. We will post it and send it to everyone who didn't get a chance to see this live and ask your questions live. But we are available in whatever communication forum you choose. We encourage you to use just to also start getting used to it. The community discussion forums and posting on EFA announcements, and that thread that I just started. Oh, no. Did I put it on here? Yes, community platform questions and issues. But wherever you're comfortable, Discord is fine too. You'll see a robust chat in Discord as well. But it is 4 o'clock, so we've been doing this for an hour. And for those of you who need to leave, that is fine. For those of you who have questions, I think we can take a few more. But yes, I'm gonna, well, maybe I won't stop sharing my screen just yet in case we need to. Oh, I wanted to show you. Yes. The other thing I wanted to show you was, if you haven't seen our brand new refresh of the website, I'm so happy. It looks so beautiful. It looks so very now. So the way that you get back to our member community is just by clicking member community here. That will take you over. Or if that's not intuitive, member login, take you over to the same page. So I did want to show you how to like if you bookmark the EFA.org and don't know how to get there, member community or member login will take you back to our community page. So, any other questions, folks? I am happy to release you all as well, and have you just explore the system on your own. You know how to reach us if you have any other questions, but thank you all for being here today. It was so great to meet you. I will stop sharing. And yeah, so glad that so many of you could join us today. So thank you for being here. All right. Bye. Have a great afternoon.